All right, Salvete omnes. We are jumping in with line 11 here, the end of it, Britanni smokes, all the way to line 15, which is the end of passage 55a, which is Eutropius's version of Julius Caesar's conquests in this section. And we're picking right up where we left off. And let's see. Let me read the sentence in Latin aloud first, and you can sort of hear how long and complex it is, and we can talk a little bit about the structure. So starting with Britannis, which is here. So we have Britanni smokes bellum intulit, quibus ante eum ne nomen quidem Romanorum cognitum erat, eosque victos, obsidibus acceptis, stipendiarios fecit. So it's a long sentence, and it's broken into a couple clauses, as you can see by the brackets. So the main clause is Britanni smokes bellum intulit. And clause, quibus ante eum ne nomen quidem Romanorum cognitum erat. And then the que in line 12 kicks off, at the end of line 12, the que kicks off another clause, because que at the end of a word means and that's the last clause from eosque victos obsidibus acceptis stipendiarios fecit. So 3 clauses in this sentence. And an ablative absolute tossed in there for good measure. All right. So I'm going to go through and translate it. And I'll try and point to where I'm translating. Using this, we'll see how that works. So we have, soon he waged war upon the Britons, or he made war, right, intulit bellum, Britannis. And intulit, well, infere bellum is an idiom that takes the dative, which is why Britannis is in the dative, right? He made war upon the Britons. So soon he made war upon the Britons. And then we have more information about the Britons given to us by the quibus. The quibus is referring back to someone or something in the previous line, right? Because it's a qui quote, so it's got an antecedent. Hopefully that word rings a bell for you. And the antecedent is, can you guess? The antecedent is, well, I can't draw. The antecedent is Britannis. So, for whom, so soon he made war upon the Britons, for whom, before him, not even the name of the Romans was known. Because cognitum here is an adjective modifying nomen, because they're both neuter singular nominative. Okay, so soon he made war upon the Britons, for whom before him not even the name of the Romans was known. And then we have and que, kicking off a new clause, and que can be used in a list of things, but it can also be used like this to kick off a new clause, so it can be a little tricky. And he made them, having been conquered, with hostages having been received. He made them stipendiarios, and the note says tributary, paying tribute, or subject to tribute. So I like subject to tribute. So he made them subject to tribute, them having been conquered, with the hostages having been received. And many of us got to that in class today. So you just sort of have to figure out where you want the English words to go, right? And he made them, having been conquered, subject to tribute, stipendiarios. And then throw in the ablative absolute at the end if you want, with the hostages having been received. All right. Now the autem, I think, I told people autem means however, and it does, but here the autem better means moreover, because he's adding to this. We're not really going in a different direction, like however suggests. So it's moreover, He ordered imperavit, and then Gallii takes the dative. So literally this is he ordered Gaul. I'm sorry. Imperavit takes the dative. Is that what I said? So Gallii is dative because imperavit takes the dative. So moreover, and then the note tells us instead of to say he ordered Gaul, to say he levied on Gaul. So we'll say that. Moreover, he levied on Gaul a stipendium annum, an annual tribute. And then it tells us to translate nomine tributi, which we could say by name of a tax or something like that, but they told us to call it as a tax. So, moreover, he levied on Gaul an annual tribute as a tax, and then quadraginties, the note helpfully tells us would be 400 times, understood 100,000 sesterces, which would be 40 million sesterces. Whew! 40 million sesterces. And 40 million sesterces is a figure that actually was confirmed by another historian called Suetonius. And it's notoriously difficult to translate these into modern monetary terms, right? 40,000 or 40 million sesterces, what would that be? For comparison, a Roman legionary earned around 25 denarii or 100 sesterces a year. So that's a lot, I think is the idea that we get. So one more time, that sentence was, moreover, he levied on Gaul an annual tribute as a tax of 40 million sesterces. And then we get another sentence which kicks off with a que, which is an and, right? And this is a little tricky. So we can translate agressus est two ways. Or agressus two ways, rather. We could make it agressus est and have it as he attacked. Or we can keep it as a perfect, well, in this case, active participle. It's really a perfect passive participle, right? But it's a deponent verb, aggredior. So we would translate it having attacked. So I'm going to do it that way first. So having attacked the Germans and across the Rhine, he conquered, understood them, in the greatest, in the hugest battles. Okay? You could also say he conquered the Germans and across the he attacked the Germans and across the Rhine and conquered them in the most immense battles. But I actually think the first one makes the most sense. So having attacked the Germans and across the Rhine, he conquered them in the most immense battles. Immanissimis being the superlative of immanus. Alright, so with that said, according to my notes, Eutropius is wrong about this last fact. Caesar never fought large battles across the Rhine. He did cross the Rhine to quote-unquote show the flag and make the Germans less inclined to cross into Gaul and stir up trouble, but he didn't really establish any lasting presence in Britain. And that didn't really happen until the time of the Emperor Claudius. Fun facts. Okay. So that is our translation. One more time from the beginning. We'll just do the whole thing. He made war. Soon he made war upon the Britons, for whom before him not even the name of the Romans was known, and he made them, having been conquered, pay a tribute, subject to tribute, with the hostages having been received. Moreover, he levied on Gaul an annual tribute as a tax of 40 million sesterces. Having attacked the Germans and across the Rhine, he conquered them in the most immense, most extensive battles. So that's the whole thing. All right. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I will see you Thursday. Walete.